teams tackle the service industry, managing the Hilton Kuala Lumpur for a day.
I know how to fold beds, linen, everything, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. Good.
Despite his confidence,
Hang on, this is the duvet cover.
This is the single sheet. Come.
Nazril buckled under pressure.
Apparently he has more experience, but Nash seems to be frazzled too easily.
We should give it complimentary.
We're not allowed to do that.
We should.
We're not allowed.
And while Alex's charm shined through,
The hook came out. I don't know where it is.
We'll do our best to solve this situation.
Thank you.
Selena's demeanor did not win her any fans.
Selena's smile comes across as very fake, very manufactured.
Yes, Selena.
Selena, she would call every 2 minutes.
Yes.
Sometimes she was not being like very nice on the phone at all.
Please make sure I know exactly what's going on.
However,
Thank you for waiting. I really apologize for that on behalf of Hilton.
it was a long list of mistakes for Team Mavericks,
You meant for that to be a pizza? Yeah.
which brought their winning streak
Team Apex is the winner.
to an end. And although Diane was on shaky ground for not yet stepping up,
You may end up with a task that you know nothing about.
it was one mistake too many for Nazril.
I understand. I put my neck on the line, so I said,
You certainly have.
Yes.
Stop there. Nazril, you're fired.
All of us said Dion was the weakest. I mean, there's this issue of honesty that came up, and as far as I'm concerned, it didn't go too well for her. I knew you'd be back. I knew you'd be back. Hi.
Oh my god.
I was fully expecting to see Nash walk through that door, but in came Dion. Nash has more potential and more to prove, so I was pretty surprised with the decision that Mr. Fernandez made.
it's brutal. It's the last 6 months.
So what did it turn on, really? It turned on Nash having made more mistakes than Dion.
He said, Nash, in all the other tasks, you also had like mistakes and these things. And his issue more with Dion was like, even if Dion made less mistakes, Dion may not have shown it. So in the end, he had to make a decision and he chose Nash.
Sorry, I just felt like I just killed somebody. I know it's nothing personal, but I felt like I just killed a man. I don't like this part of myself where I have to bring the aggressiveness out. Seriously, there's no more room for error after this.
But it's the 6 of us.
This is
Anyway,
a nightmare.
it's halfway.
Yes.
Well, I guess we have
That's
3
something to
boys and 3
celebrate.
girls.
That plane taxi in, and it was, it took a few seconds to register. I mean, the whole scene was just really surreal to see that.
Morning. Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Fernandez.
Welcome to Air Asia. In late 2001, together with 3 of my partners, we acquired Air Asia, I had the idea to start a low-cost airline in Asia. In those 11 years, we have taken Air Asia from 2 planes to 120 planes, from 200,000 passengers to this year we'll carry 44 million passengers, and from 200 staff to 10,000 staff. This is one task which is obviously going to be very close to my heart, and it's one task where you can really impress me. I'd like to introduce you to Sohaila Hassan.
Hello.
She is the regional cabin crew manager for the Air Asia Group and looks after 2,000 staff. Behind me are my lovely flight attendants that serve as ambassadors of the airline. For your task, I will be asking you to design new uniforms for our staff at Air Asia.
I love design. I like dressing up. I like looking sharp. I like the attention to detail. Definitely this will be an interesting task.
You will be assisted by upcoming Asian designers in performing this task. The team that impresses me more will win. The other team, one of you will be fired. Good luck, and I shall see you in the boardroom.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez was adding more pressure into us in a sense that Air Asia is his heartland and is his baby. We just lost the last task, and if we lose it again, I don't think that's gonna impress him further. So the pressure is more on for Mavericks this time.
Have a seat, guys.
Alright, time to roll.
Okay, Dion, so you're PM.
Yes, it's very obvious from our last board meeting. Mr. Fernandez sort of mandated to me that I have to be, and then even if he hasn't, I'm the only one out of us 3 that
I
hasn't.
will be very glad to support you.
Supporting you.
Please support me, and I will
Supporting
do
you.
my best to support you guys because I feel like I have 2 creative little bubbles to be here.
Mr. Fernandez insisted at the previous boardroom that Dion step up. Generally, Dion is quite laid back. She's very good with playing a supporting role, but in terms of being the one to drive a discussion and to drive a task and a project, I've not seen her do that yet.
Okay, so 5 designs basically. Yes, 5 design. Any concerns there? No, not
I think
really.
it's pretty much clear.
It's very much clear. The fashion event that we're supposed to present all our work is going to be following after, right?
Correct?
Yes.
That's the next deliverable.
Okay.
So the task this week is we get to design uniforms for the Air Asia staff. We've got to do the male and female weekend flight attendant uniform. We've got to do the male and female guest services uniform. And finally, one ramp uniform for the ground crew. All our designs are going to be presented in a fashion show where we will showcase our new outfits.
Is roles need to be assigned like around this time? Like it's pretty much just a creative pool right now.
I would view it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought I was going to be very uncomfortable with the position just because I had to mark up orders. So it's always a good idea to let them have the freedom that they can explore, yet get the creative juices going.
Alright guys, we need to pick a project manager. So I definitely want to be project manager. I've done outfits for my promoters before. I renew them I'll say pretty much every year. And and I feel very confident that we'll win this task.
Great, okay, I'll support that.
This is a task that is very close to Mr. Fernandez's heart, and I want to take that opportunity to shine and to impress him. Hi.
Hello, good day.
Alright, so thanks a lot for taking the time to meet us. We'll have a few questions to ask you. So first of all, what are the, current problems that you have with your uniforms?
The current flight attendant weekend uniform, I think because we are using jeans, so the challenges that we see, it's different body, has different sizes of head, so to make sure everybody looks, good in that is a tough challenge.
The brief was essential, It was very important to understand, number one, what the executive were looking for, and to make sure that we come up with a uniform that fits their daily activities.
So the ramp guys will be loading the baggage. We'll have a lot of physical activities at the aircraft.
So the ramp is a lot more about being comfortable,
Comfortable, practical, durable.
durable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hi. Welcome to Maverick. Should right, we'll like to introduce Jonathan to answer all the questions that he has.
Switch channels and you'll be fired. Keep it here on AXN.
Come up here, stay with me. We could see the life we dream of from here. Come up here, stay with me. There is a world waiting for your love, for your love. Up to the sky, sky, the sky, for your love.
Hilton Hotels and Resorts. Savor the experience. Revisit a classic. Escape the ordinary. The possibilities are endless.
I was expecting Deanne to be the one to set the tone, but suddenly she just threw everything to me. What do you look forward from us in integrating it into the new uniform?
The design must represent the brand values. It must be, stylish. It must be bold, chic. We work in a high-paced environment. We spend long hours at the airport, so it's got to be tailored for our Asian weather.
Hello. Hi, I'm Jan from Team Mavericks. This is Andrea.
Hello,
I'm Jan.
Aman, nice to meet you. Basically, our task is to create new designs for your uniforms on the accounts of functionality, comfort, and also design. This is our male weekend uniform.
It looks like you're going out.
Yeah, it's a bit plain.
When they do the service, usually the cut will touch always this area, so you see this area always like all.
One of the more interesting issues that was raised when we spoke to the flight attendant was that the waist area of their uniform will get worn out a lot more quickly than the rest of it, and that's because the trolley is at about their waist height. We should probably try and think about that.
It just doesn't come together, the jeans, the shirt.
Bell bottom?
Like
Are you kidding me?
1970. We just need something professional and comfortable.
Okay. Yeah, 10 minutes to speak to you about designing new uniforms. What are the problems with what you're wearing, and what are the things that you lack to include in the next designs?
Actually, this one is a male for guest service, and the material is not too comfortable.
We have a lining inside for the skirt and the shirt. So the lining is not absorb our sweat, and then it's really not comfortable.
Okay, this is uniform from REM. We working under the sunlight. We feel very hot.
When it comes to uniform, you need to stick out from the rest of the airlines out there. So I felt that we need to come up with something that is really fun, dynamic, but still keep a professional approach to the branding. My issue with their uniform right now is that when you see them, you don't know it's AirAsia. There's no branding, there's no nothing, and especially the guys, it's all black.
Let's have some rough sketches and diagrams with the non-negotiables included, so that when we go to the designer, it looks like we've done our homework.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so we've got a pretty good idea from talking to the flight attendant.
So she said this part of the thing always gets very ugly and horrible.
Which one?
The trolley
This
comes down
part,
to there,
it's
and they
always
have to
hitting
work
this
on that
part.
space, so splatter of Milo.
It would be really good if we can find something to deal with it. I don't know, an it'd be very ugly when. Oh yes, let's think about that. Ladies and gentlemen, witness the transformation in just 2 clicks of a button. Click, click. Well, I came up with an idea, which is to have an additional layer of fabric, which is detachable to shield the underlying fabric. It would function kind of like an apron. And that thing can even have a little pocket. All their in-flight stuff, they need a pocket to handle the money. So you can have a little thing, put all your change in there, ladies and gentlemen. From the aisle to the trolley in 2 clicks.
We want to go away from the pants. if the pants is a problem, skirt, you don't have a problem whether you're tall, short.
Because it's true, like, from a size perspective, I agree with you. Like if you go on pants, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have issues for sure.
Right. Where a pencil skirt goes like this, an A-line skirt is actually like this. You can even go as fun as having it in pleats.
Selena was the one who had the most input in terms of design. I mean, she was very knowledgeable. She's like, we could do this, we could do that. And then Sam and myself were, like either agreeing or disagreeing on certain of them, and then we were pointing out the one that we liked.
How about the colors?
Colors, I think, for the weekend, we can go with a light color on top, which is light and white.
Yeah.
And on the skirt, we could still keep the red.
Hey, you draw actually really well.
You're good, man.
Yeah, you draw really well. It's really nice.
Okay, let's freeze on that.
Yeah,
very nice.
That.
Let's go with that. I like it.
Hi, Maverick.
Nice meeting you.
Hi, Andrea. The designer that we've been assigned is a bridal designer, so we want to make sure we inform her very clearly about what we want to do, because we don't want anything frilly for the uniforms.
Shall we go into the flight attendant first?
Okay, yeah. We want it to still look professional. That's the main consideration, because right now it's looking too casual. Okay. So we want to do a straight cut black pant.
Okay.
And a red blouse.
Do you want to have like a tuxedo effect on the pants? Red on the side?
No.
Too Michael Jackson-ish? Okay.
And then can we put the same lining again inside, the red, the subtle reds here?
We recognize that in presenting a collection, it had to have a very coherent vision. We're going with something that's very true to the AirAsia corporate colors. Everything is in red and black. Okay, so do the boys have the same pockety thing? Because sometimes the guys are the ones that are serving and not the girls. So they both need the aprony thing, right? Is it ugly?
I'm really quite mystified with this apron kind of suggestion which they're having. I'd love to see what is going to come out of it.
All right, let's move on, please. Guest services. We wanted to have a A-line skirt, like just above the knee, like 3 fingers above the knee, kind of.
No, it's not going to be above the knee whatsoever.
Andre and John are very adamant in getting their points across. Whenever I bring up an idea, there was always a reason of why not we should implement that idea.
I mean, it's good too with the boys too. Like if they have an inverted triangle. Not everyone has that.
That's why you create the illusion that everybody has an inverted triangle. It just looks nice, right? You can take it off.
There were many points that Diane was actually laughing around, and she was suggesting ideas that weren't really serious. Those ideas were more of distracting rather than leading us to the right ideas. She has promised so many things in the last boardroom. I'm not really seeing anything at all from her. If ever we lose, I think she deserves to be kicked out.
Hi, good afternoon. Alex from Team Apex. How are you doing? Very nice meeting you, Silas.
I'm Selena. Nice to meet you.
Selena. Sam. Hello, Sam. So, Selena, you're going to be sitting next to Silas. Once we arrived at the designer, I thought that Selena should be the one talking to the designer, since she had all the drawings. If I was the one speaking, when I didn't do the drawings, that would not make as much sense.
Basically, for a female flight attendant, we were looking at maybe more of a more fun pleated skirt.
Okay.
We like the idea of going with red material. We'll go with a nice flowy shirt similar to this in a nice white. I definitely think the way I dress influenced our designs. I wouldn't represent something that I wouldn't wear myself. So I went with that, and that was my gut feel, and I said, would I wear this? Absolutely.
We need to maybe look at the fabric, no?
We'll go with this one, which is more cotton.
This is a shirt fabric, basically.
Yeah, shirt fabric. That's fine. I think we're happy. It will match the skirt, because probably the skirt will be something like this, right?
Their recommendation for white top for cabin crew, not good when you're doing a lot of serving on the plane. So I think this is something that's very lacking in their design consideration.
And the guy will be exactly like this, but with a male version. The pants is red.
Yes.
How about this guy pant?
Guys,
instead of
we're
being
eating
total
out.
red, make it black. It will become more chic. That
Right,
way,
but we were thinking that the black pants, we would use it for the guest service guy. Sure that they
I'm not-
stayed in red.
No, I'm not changing the color of this. I'm just worried this red pant is becoming simply red. It's like
No, but that's why it's going to have the pleats that he said, which will be stylish
Okay.
and well cut. I mean, with his,
The whole concept of design is personal. I might like black, whites, and some other persons might like bright colors. So it's kind of challenging. So that's the thing I'm sort of concerned about.
Nice. So our script for our fashion show's theme is Fashion Takes Flight. We're extremely excited about the fashion show.
Knowing that it's in an airplane hangar is unbelievably cool. I've always wanted to be in one, and now to do a fashion show in it, off the charts. So this is our project manager, Dion.
If you need anything, you come to me.
The objective here is to showcase a really fun, energetic fashion show. The moment you pop out from that airplane, you all have to be all smiles, as if you are seeing your own customers.
We want you to get into that mood of just, let's have fun, and then my role in this fashion show is making sure that the models actually follow what Andre had said into the script. You take that thing out, snap one here, and then you show that our models are people who actually work in the field. They're not runway models. It could be quite intimidating if you haven't done it before.
We're really counting on you to help us win this one. Always don't forget to smile.
And Mr. Fernandez has said this is the task.
The task. I think the edge or the differentiation of Team Mavericks versus Apex is that we're more fun and energetic with what we're going to present. And as long as we nail that down perfectly, I think we have a good chance of winning.
So we're going to go in like a rap song style, so that you will be singing, I will be beatboxing to give the rhythm, and you'll be handling the models behind. So I think it's really, really cool. We decided to come up with something that will really give some spice to the show, adding a rap song and a beatbox that will explain everything that we wanted to say.
The rapping was my idea because that will be an instant way of connecting with the audience. It's very rhyming, they quickly catch it.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I want you guys to stop here, smile, show your dress, pose. Well, I've definitely been on a runway before, so I tried to guide the models on how to feel on the runway. 1, 2, 3, 4, happy! We wanted to make sure that the models were still in their roles, which was stewardesses and guest service officers.
For Air Asia's guest service out to impress. So you can have this. Yeah. So now that you know the overall 30,000 picture, now they can walk around.
Listen to me.
Listen to me. Let me finish.
I'm talking, Sam, please. Just let, she handles that, so just let her know that. If there's anything you want her to talk, you let her talk, man.
Okay, but the point is this, I'm talking about the entry and the exit.
Yeah.
What happens inside the ramp, I want her to do it. She will do it. All I'm saying is the entry and exit should time with the music.
Sam was getting in the way, he was speaking directly with the models, and that was not his role, Sina was the one to handle everything that comes with, the catwalk and the models, and he got a little bit messy at that point.
The thing is, you can choose whenever you're going to talk.
I did notice twice or thrice that Alex and Selena had sort of ganging up against me. They do underestimate me a lot because I'm more silent and I don't sort of raise my voice. People assume that I'm not the strongest player, which, is not true.
Oops. You can do stuff like that, like, woo, you can have fun. Like, woo, okay, whatever you want.
Seeing hundreds of people there, my heart started to beat a little bit faster than normal, so I was definitely a little bit nervous. Welcome aboard flight AK8901, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare to be wild with Team Mavericks collection, fashion takes flight. First up, we have Mark. The helping hands of Air Asia, these friendly folk meet you, greet you, and check you into your flight. Mark is wearing a shirt and pants combo in lightweight cotton to beat the sweltering Kuala Lumpur heat. Short sleeves have been incorporated as requested by the Air Asia staff. The new uniform features a relaxed yet tailored fit, which keeps Mark looking sharp while allowing smooth airflow.
When I first saw our designs on the runway, I literally wanted to cry. I felt so proud to be able to represent what the staff needed. I just felt so honored.
Rosita is wearing a sleek one-piece dress in lightweight cotton. This dress also features a new satin lining for additional comfort. We've added plenty of pockets for pens and documents for Rosita while walking the tarmac to escort passengers. And this is for the ground handlers. Najiha is wearing a shirt and pants combo made of durable cotton drill in the signature Air Asia rib. There are also 2 additional side pockets on the pant. It is also large enough to fit Air Asia's 4x8-inch instruction booklet and other tablets. Finally, we have yellow and white reflectors on the arms, ankles, and torso to ensure 360-degree visibility when Najiha is working the night shift. The heart of Air Asia's operations, cabin crew, we have heard your cry for a more professional look. Say goodbye to denim and hello to comfy tailored chinos for a professional update on casual weekend dressing. The multi-option sleeve offers options to the men with a simple button closure to fold it down. Ladies, elevate your style with our relaxed fit tailored chino in a flattering black. We've updated the short sleeved shirt now to a 3/4 sleeve blouse for a feminine, professional look that's perfect for the weekend.
Team Maverick's flight attendant uniform, it looks elegant and simple. I can see that it's very practical. My crew will definitely love it.
Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the in-flight cabin crew have what we call the snap-on, an extra layer of fabric that snaps on discreetly to the belt in seconds. No more coffee or Milo spills, and no more wear and tear from trolley friction. It also features a front pocket for change and bills for easy access during in-flight sales. Presenting Fashion Takes Flight.
It was very surreal to see our designs come to life. Really, really, really proud of Team Mavericks, and we're so happy with what we've done. And fingers crossed that we blow Apex out of the water on this task.
Just keep it something. Alright. We'll hit a home run on this one. If we do exactly what we've planned to do, it's going to be amazing. So I'm very excited and I can't wait to do it.
Good evening, Air Asia. Alright, you guys have been sitting for a long time. Why don't you all please stand up? Alright, I know you've been sitting for a long time. And I need you to do me a small thing, please. Shake hands with the person on your right and say, you look much better than the person on my left. Alright, please be seated everyone. Alright, yeah, you can clap, you can make some noise, there's nothing official about it. Alright. Anyone do that?
Sam was amazing on this task to really get the crowd roaring, he's really natural in his role. I was definitely impressed.
I want to invite my beatbox specialist Alex, all the way from China, to help me out. Alright, here we go. 10 clothes stock, you wonder how. Team Apex will show you and hopefully you'll go, wow! Make some noise and welcome your colleagues, everybody!
I was really happy with the results. It was exactly what I expected. Clearly we showed originality and we were spot on. We really got every detail right and they really looked awesome.
Alright, first off we invite the guest services team. Here we go. They're bold, they're bright, and they dress to kill. You wish they'd leave you that fabric in their will. The dress is chic in humidity. from Garden City to LCCT. Breathable fabric that leaves you breathless, because Air Asia's guest service out to impress. All right, next up we invite the flight attendants for you. You feel it's hot and you wonder why, because Air Asia stewards are up in the sky. Lifting and shoving and cleaning and serving, they clothe themselves with some practical thinking. Stretchable fabric, adjustable length. You see the stewards and shout, yeah, give me red! And last but not the least, give it up for the guys at the ramp, everyone! The clothes are designed for uncommon heat, but serving in the ramp is no small feat. With a manual on their left and a tablet on their right, they fight sweat and dust from dawn through the night. Soft yet tough with safety reflectors, they last real long with aging deflectors. Their work ain't easy as walking in this ramp, but like Air Asia stuff, it's like switching on a lamp. And truly, we mean this with all our heart. This ain't about us, it's all about you. We just want to thank you for all that you do.
For Team Apex's guest services, I'm so impressed because when they are wearing black, it reflects the confidence level.
So put it up, everyone, for your colleagues and Team Apex. Hope you really liked it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm very happy with the show, the way it went. You know, this is a task that is really close to Mr. Fernandez's heart, and this is so crucial for me to win this one.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Good job.
Team Apex is in the place.
And now add music to your internet with Internet Plus. Enjoy 1 GB data plus 1000 minutes of music on Savan.
You may enter the boardroom now. Mr. Fernandez will see you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Fernandez.
So the task was to design some Air Asia uniforms. Do you know why I came up with a weekend uniform? When you're wearing the same thing for 11 years, it becomes a little bit monotonous. My whole philosophy is to give people the ability to be themselves, because I want people to be individuals. So if your designs are good, I'm going to use them. I'm not paying you for it, but I'm going to use them. So let's see. Team Apex. I presume, Alexis, you were the project manager.
Yes, I was, sir. I stepped up for a few reasons. I'm here to show you, that what I can do, and I felt as well that, I had some experience, especially in events management. I started my career in the area, and to be honest, it's a task that is really close to your heart. So I wanted to make sure that Team Apex shine, and myself as well.
Selena, how did Alexis perform as a project manager?
I think Alexis fit really well into the role. He allowed everyone to do their jobs and reminding them of their line of work and what they had to do. And he still accomplished to manage very strong personalities and direct the passion in the right path.
Who was in charge of the designs?
Mainly, especially for the female designs, Sina was responsible for this, so she was responsible for drawing and then talking to the designer.
So you were the main person doing the designs, yeah?
Well, in regards to design, I guess I was allowed the freedom by my project manager,
Okay,
so.
that's good. So you picked Selena to...
Yeah, she did a good job, sir.
And you gave her the ability to lead the designs. Okay. Selena, do you think you did the best designs?
Well, I know that I went with something that would be wider across, widely accepted by most people. So we went with lines that we knew would fit different body types.
So you clearly think you met the objectives of comfort and functionality?
Yes, sir.
We shall see. Team Mavericks. Deanne,
Yes,
you
sir.
stepped up. How do you think you did as project manager?
I had the most fun, sir. I never thought I'd be so comfortable in the project manager role. I thought I would have some difficulty.
You had no choice this time, right? I would have torn you apart if you weren't project manager.
I had fun, and then I get to experience something that is out of my comfort zone. I've always tried to stay
What is your comfort zone?
being quiet.
Not doing anything.
No, not doing anything. I will do something, but mostly I will just be quiet. I thought I might have a little trouble in directing them, but it actually works quite well for us.
Okay, what do you think, Andrea?
Diane played a role where she allowed us to express our creativity, and it was important in a task like this, sir. And she did direct us ably.
Right. Who was in charge of the designs?
Pretty much, Andrea was like the one sorting out the girls, and I was like sorting out for the men's.
Interesting. I would have thought you did the designs, actually. You appear to be the most stylish of the three. It seems a little bit risky to give them so much autonomy. My gut feel would be that you would be more involved in the design process. Jonathan, do you think Deanne pulled her weight, or do you think she could have done more?
If I would have to be honest, of course, creative inputs, it came more for me and Andrea. But I think that was her strategic decision in this task.
Okay, Mark.
From what I observed from the get-go, it was really Jonathan and Andrea. They were driving the whole decision-making process, ideas, and so on and so forth. Even though Deanne was the project manager, I didn't really see Deanne take charge.
Why didn't you?
I did raise a few design inputs, but when I brought it up, they've given their reasons, and it's 2 against 1, so I went democratic on that.
I don't think it's her strength, sir, but
You don't think it's a strength?
No.
So what did you contribute, Deanne?
I remind them of the needs from the management and the staff, and then when it comes to the runway, I make sure that the models know what they're doing, because we didn't have a lot of time to practice with them.
Okay, so I asked you to step up, Deanne, last week. You did that.
Yep.
There's a debate whether you could have done more.
Of course.
Let's see whether you made the right choice. Votes. Team Mavericks, you are the winner. Well done. As winners of this task, you will each get an A320 flight simulator experience at the Asian Aviation Center of Excellence. That's our training academy, where one of our experienced AirAsia pilots will be teaching you how to fly a plane. Let your inner pilot take flight. You may now leave the boardroom. Have fun. Deanne, well done.
Thank you, sir.
Good job, man. So I know it's disappointing, but all of you are staying in here, and one of you will be fired today.
Welcome to Ace Academy. Are we all set?
Yes,
Let's
we
go.
are.
Let's go.
Definitely.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So Jonathan,
have a seat. On the left side is the captain's seat.
Alright. Captain Salazar.
That's right.
Welcome aboard flight AK-8901.
The Mavericks, we're taking off.
Yes, Captain.
We are moving.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
Very nice. Keep pulling up.
Team Apex, I don't think you kept within the brief and that's why you lost. Selena, since you came up with the majority of the design, where did you get your inspiration from?
Well, definitely as a woman who also works in a physical kind of work, I wanted to make sure that the outfits were wearable, that's something I would wear and that I think other people would like to wear.
I'm not a fashion guru by any stretch of the imagination. Kat, do you think these outfits were contemporary?
No. You don't have to be casual and compromise style, especially the cabin crew. They like to look good and they feel very proud of wearing their uniform. So white, of course, is a no-no for a serving job. In fact, it looks like school uniform. Using red for the guys, majority will not wear red pants.
I would have a revolution on my hands if I tried to make the guys wear these red trousers. Did you agree to the red pants, Sam?
One of the conversations we had was, can we add some black accents to the red pant? In terms of a double stitch, black stitch, all of that I did bring about.
I was told the designer actually thought that was a good point. Your teammates didn't listen to you at that point, did they? No, sir. Do you think they didn't listen to you because you try and get involved in too many things and people switch off? What do you think, Selena?
Sometimes he does get in the way of our thoughts. A lot of times the way I work with Alex is very different from the way I work with Sam.
Something you need to learn. Sometimes when you talk too much, people switch off. Who came up with a color scheme for the flight attendant?
We knew we had 3 colors to play with. We didn't want to have, all the different departments wearing the same colors, on top and bottom.
And the strongest point for the white was it's bleachable. Any spots or stains can be removed.
What happens to the material when you bleach it too much?
It turns yellow.
You all said bleach, but you didn't think enough. And when you're serving 180 people, no matter how good you are, the chances are you might drop something on your shirt. Can't bleach on the plane, can you?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you still think it was a practical color, Selena?
In defense, though, I do worked as a waitress and we wear a lot of white, and I guess maybe in another color it would have worked, but generally we did meet the brief and our flight attendant was happy to wear that. I asked her many
It's hard
times.
for you to say no.
I did agree we made a mistake,
Yeah, but
I
you
have
still
to
tried to say, well, I worked as a waitress, I did that. You've got to learn, if you made a mistake, stick your hand up and say you screwed up. You screwed up.
I have, sir, I have.
You screwed up.
Yes.
Waitress is on the ground. There is no turbulence. Right? On the ground, you can have potentially 2 or 3 shirts to change into. Correct?
I think in this task, Selena, as a chief designer, she got too involved in her own personal likes, her taste. This is very much her style. They forgot that they are designing something for the cabin crew.
Such a good point. Alexis, would you agree?
Ultimately, as a project manager as well, I have my responsibility, but it's true that, most of the creative input when it came to design came from Selena.
As project manager, you were responsible.
Yes.
Right? In interpreting the brief.
Yeah.
Do you think you put too much trust into Selena and the design?
No, sir. As well, she was the one coming, have the more experience with technical terms and all that. So I really felt that, it was a good role for her.
Selena, your views, were you most at fault here?
Again, style is personal, but every step of the way I always ask my 2 teammates, do you agree and do you like this?
All right. Well, this is a creative task and you failed. Since only 3 of you left, all of you will be returning. It's going to be a difficult one. You may leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who was the weakest link?
The designer played a very key part, so maybe that's the reason why Alex put a lot of faith in Selena.
I'm not happy with Alexis' performance. I think too confident. Selena, she doesn't like to accept she's wrong. Well, I want to dig in a bit more. There may be something we're missing. Can you please send 3 candidates in?
Yes, sir.
You may proceed to the boardroom. Mr. Fernandez is ready for you now.
This is your last chance to tell me, why do you want to be my apprentice, Sam?
Number one, sir, I fit your organization culture extremely well. Number two, in terms of IQ, EQ, I rank up definitely very high. Thirdly, the only reason I have grown in my organization is because I take ownership. My boss sits 10,000 miles away, and if something were to go wrong in India, I have taken ownership. I've got 6 promotions in 12 years because I said, boss, I will fix it. So for these 3 reasons, I believe I should not be fired today.
Alexis?
Well, for myself, so first of all, I'd like to speak about my journey. I think my strategy was very clear to all of you. He was trying to shine every single week. I've always tried to get as much responsibility as I could. I make other people better. I make the people in my team better. And even if I'm not the project leader, I make the project leader better because I give them all the attention they need. They give them all the things they need, and I always try to help them.
Selena?
Yes, sir. I'm taking a very different route, sir, because I believe that in spite of all the skills they have, in core values, sir, I'm honest, I'm straightforward, I'm a true person deep in my heart. When you get to know me, I work very hard. I've shown I can get my hands dirty. I think my passion speaks for itself. Basically, I just love living, sir. I love life, and I love what life brings to the table and what it can teach you. That's it.
I'm going to go to you.
Yes.
I want you to be me.
Yes.
Who would you fire?
I would fire Selena. I didn't feel that Selena had strong networking skills. In general, in terms of relationship, good human skills. People, I think she's as well stressed, and that shows in her face, and that's why after that it creates a bit of, I think, coldness in interaction.
Selena, who would you fire?
Based on the recent work that I've done with these 2 gentlemen, I would fire Alex. He didn't step up as a project manager to guide me further into my creative process. People need to be guided in that term. They can get carried away.
You laughed.
Yeah, I laughed. I mean, because before she just said, I was a great project manager. As a team player and somebody that will work for your company, you get somebody that as well is not just only focused on what she's done. The only thing that she's done is she always say I all the time. And it's just like an attitude problem, I believe.
For me, in my defense, I did everything to my maximum potential for the particular task of making the design. In terms of personal, you were attacking me about personal skills. I was very friendly to the staff. I wanted them to feel very comfortable in their uniforms, in their runway. They had never done the catwalk. This is a competition after all, and we are all vying for the same position. But it doesn't change the fact that I do have a heart. My emotions do get away with me sometimes, but it doesn't change the fact that I can keep improving, and I'm always surpassing my own self. So I have to disagree on personal skills. I have a front to hide my emotions because else I'm all over the place. Oh. This is why I have a front, because this is what happens when I don't have this insincere front that you saw in the last task. Can I get a coffee? Right, I'll take care of that right away.
Yeah? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Face to face, she seemed a little bit somewhat insincere, and you lack warmth in your service delivery.
Note taken.
Okay. Today is not just about this task, because we're getting close. And for me, it's equally an important decision to make sure I get the right person working for me, for the company's benefit, for my benefit, and for your benefit as well. Sam, while in this task, you have excelled, I think. And I think you are a bit disruptive sometimes. You need to know when to speak and when not to speak. Alexis, you're hungry for this job. You really are. You are a good leader, though you screwed up this time. You want to win,
yes, sir.
Without a doubt. Maybe a bit too confident today. Maybe you're selling yourself too hard. Maybe you could be intimidating to some of my people. Selena, you didn't convince me enough on the people side. For that reason, you're fired.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good luck to your future endeavors.
Sam, Alexis, you're both still here for one reason. People. and I shall see you at the next task.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think Selena, so desperate to stay on, she became insincere. We're a people organization. I think it would have been tough for Selena to work in our organization.
Definitely, I don't think it was time for me to go. I had a lot more to show. But if people find your weakness, a lot of people are actually going to use that and try to make you feel less than what you are. And that's what Alex did. He made me feel less than what I was. He found my weak spot and he went right for it. And he's good. Bravo to him.
Next time on the Apprentice Asia, it's a race to the final four. As the task gets larger than life,
don't even think about it.
the candidates pull out all the stops.
This one, which is very sportly, as well masculine, but very modern.
Alex, TMI, too much information.
To escape the wrath of the boss.
No, I don't want to hear. I'm so pissed off with you. You're fired.